China is truly a vast and fascinating country. 600,000 square kilometers of land, 3 million square kilometers of seas, and it's never still, changing with the rotation of the seasons. To fly like a bird is to see things that are beyond your imagination. You visit places you would never before have dreamed of. And even familiar places, when you look down on them from on high, will assume a completely different appearance. We'll take you to explore places close at hand and far away. To witness nature and geography, humanity and history. This 50-minute air journey will bring you the amazing experience you've never had before. From now on, join us as we embark on a unique journey across the sky.
Chongqing is located in southwest China with an area of 82,400 square kilometers, more than 90% of which is mountainous terrain. Numerous tributaries from the Sichuan Basin converge with the Yangtze River in Chongqing, cutting through to form a gateway to the outside world. Our journey begins from Chongqing's historic urban center, seeking to understand how cableways have shaped its 3D transport system. Then we will head toward the distinctively different overpasses to meet the masterpieces of space utilization experts. Finally, we will follow the trains and glide gently into a building. Over hundreds of millions of years, the Earth has extruded itself into folds, creating ridges and valleys. This is one of the most typical fold mountains in the world. Each mountain range maintains a certain distance from its neighbor next door. Such spacing between valleys has created the world's largest city with the ridge and valley province, Chongqing. With more mountains than plains, climbing slopes and steps has become a daily routine for people of the mountain city. The Yangtze River Cableway, despite featuring in numerous films and TV shows, is affectionately known by locals as it maintains its serene tempo, gliding slowly, and offering visitors an opportunity to gain a clear first impression of the 3D mountain city from the skies above. Bang Bang refers to a bamboo pole over a meter long, and also a group of people. Bang Bang is a moniker exclusive to the city's porters. The elevation drop of Yuzhong Peninsula is over 200 meters. In places inaccessible by vehicle, just shout out Bang Bang near a freight market, and someone will answer you, "Coming." At its peak, there were 400,000 people who supported their families with the poles on their shoulders and measured the city's transformation with every step they took. Chongqing locals are known for their straightforwardness, and overpasses in the city are no less direct. To adapt to the mountainous terrain and reduce stair climbing, they have built a variety of overpasses. Spanning between buildings, this slender overpass connects to a road on the left and to the 13th floor of an apartment building on the right, making it easy to go from the first floor to the 13th floor. Another 66-meter-high overpass has two parallel sections, providing people on the top floors with the convenience of having a street right outside their door. With limited flat ground, people seek pastoral life on rooftops. Rice, lotus roots, and fish ponds gather on rooftops. People can enjoy the joy of harvest without stepping outside the building. In addition to farmland, food stalls have also moved from the roadside to the rooftops of the 47th floor. Taking an elevator to have some fast food has become an attractive feature to draw in customers. Along this folded road, the neon signs, a characteristic of the food stalls, are lit up one by one against the sky. A popular rooftop site is, of course, the hot pot. The bubbling hot pot and the laughter of people are intertwined, with people's passion rising beyond the skyline. This small rooftop has witnessed the heat of life and thus knows well the value of friendship. Chongqing locals are born masters of space utilization, with Diaojiao Lo, or stilt houses, being another master. Street, but also the most eye-catching scenery by the river. Beyond the stilt houses, the monorails are also built along the mountains. The monorail is a perfect fit for the city's terrain, but the train remains in close quarters with nearby residential buildings. In a mountainous city, safe driving always requires careful consideration. A yellow car body painted with black and white checkers is the type of pattern that can be easily spotted. In fog-prone areas, the bright yellow color helps increase visibility during driving. With this visual safeguard in place, taxis can travel around the city streets, racing against time for every passenger. Many bridges in Chongqing have had their unique features forced out by the terrain. Crossing the river from Sichuan, a 30-meter drop brings the bridge face-to-face with Nanshan Mountain. The Sichuan interchange employs a coil-back strategy, twisting itself into a circle with a radius of 100 meters to avoid a head-on confrontation with the mountain range, which helps the Sichuan Bridge reach the south bank. Perhaps driving on a bend 72 meters high inevitably causes some trepidation. Since its opening, the Sichuan interchange still holds an impeccable record of 0 traffic accidents. Here, the mountains have layered the roads one over the other. New drivers who enter this interchange may miss an exit even with GPS turned on, ending up in the opposite direction of the destination. But for experienced locals, the left or right signs easily takes them to the correct exit. To cross this massive mountain, one could only take a detour in the past. But the Pan Long interchange has revitalized the roads heading east of the mountain city. In the Chongqing dialect, work is called holu, ways of making a living. More roads lead to more opportunities for making a living. Apart from being a multidimensional mountain city, Chongqing's mountains hold other kinds of wonders. Flying from southeast to northeast, we will search for traces of the Earth's movement over billions of years. Join a Karst extravaganza, soar into high mountains and deep valleys, and visit the natives living on the cliffs. Green is the base color of the Yangtze River. From its source to its confluence with the Yangtze River, it never leaves the karst areas. Mountains made of carbonate rocks have little silt content, so even in the rainy season, the Yangtze River won't lose its green to torrents. Calm is just the outward appearance of this river. When it enters Chongqing, it makes a sudden turn, reshaping the mountains anew together with numerous tributaries. Time can take everything away, but it deliberately leaves behind the 3 natural bridges. Millions of years ago, an underground river burst into the mountain and raged about causing the mountain to collapse. Only these 3 towering stone bridges survived, becoming the truly strong bridges. Like man-made bridges, these natural ones also need to be maintained. Right after the rainy season, to ensure the safety of visitors, the Spider-Men must race against time to clear loose rocks from the cliffs before the tourists arrive. hundreds of meters high is full of danger. One must be careful and meticulous at every step. The Spider-Men work tirelessly against the clock. 2 hours later, Three Natural Bridges welcomes its first group of visitors for the day. From now on, they can tour with peace of mind. These mountains remind us of the Earth's vitality. Ancient rocks will crumble and new peaks will arise. Destruction and creation are ongoing processes that happen alternately. The three natural bridges are just in the youth state of karst topography. What do they look like when they age? Less than 10 kilometers from the three natural bridges amidst the mountain forests lies a hidden alpine steppe, a portrait of the aged karst landform. Over eons, rugged terrains have been smoothed by flowing water, and the mountains reveal their gentleness with a new posture. Mount Xiannu's summer begins with people seeking respite from the heat. In August, the 20 degrees Celsius weather attracts visitors here to enjoy the cool breeze. The natives demonstrate on the grasslands how to relish the summer's chill. At this time, the karst landform no longer stands center stage with its array of bizarre forms. Instead, it prefers to nestle its angular body beneath the rolling, rounded hills, to feel the wind, embrace the rain, and listen to the enduring sounds of the world. Time can flatten peaks and also push the plains to their summits. The Himalayan orogeny made Mount Jinfo the highest of the Dalo mountain range. Rejecting a protruding shape, it insists on keeping its summit flat. Therefore, geologists have named it the Karst Table Mountain. The warm oceanic monsoon meets the cold air at the summit, forming a white tablecloth that spreads over Mount Jinfo. Below the clouds, there is the Chimonobambusa utilis as upright as the tabletop peak. This moisture-loving plant starts with round stems in its youth, but acquires a square-shaped culm as it matures. The soil in karst areas is barren, but the Chimonobambusa utilis thrives on nourishment from the sky. The mist lingers among the mountains, making the tabletop mountains perfect for Chimonobambusa utilis. The bamboo shoots of Chimonobambusa utilis are stubborn too. They refuse to sprout like mushrooms after rain. Instead, it's the first rain after the start of autumn that signals them to break through the soil. Villagers gather and head for the bamboo forest at the mountaintop. Climbing cliffs and traversing precipices, this is the only path to the delectable prize. Three hours later, they reach the bamboo forest. With a tread and a twist, they hand-pick the fresh and tender shoots. The in-season delicacy available for less than a month is something Chongqing locals cannot miss in autumn. Despite the incessant cry of apes from the banks, the swift boat has already sailed through thousands of hills. This valley has never been a place of silence. Faced with towering peaks, the river reveals its resolve to carve through the gorge. When it breaks free from the gorge, it leaves behind the hard vertical cliffs. These turn out to be perfect reflectors for the propagation of sound. Monkeys living atop the cliffs use the sheer walls as a natural megaphone. Even the slightest sound can travel back and forth among the majestic mountains. On this journey, we travel upstream along the Yangtze River to explore marks of wars and battles in history. Partake in a Grand Zhongyuan festival celebration. Visit the origin of pickles and arrive at China's largest multimodal transport hub port along the Yangtze River. Monsoons from the ocean carry moisture all the way, but are intercepted at the edge of the Sichuan Basin. It's Wushan Mountain that detains them, transforming them into clouds and rain. The Shennu Peak is the most famous of the 12 peaks of Wushan Mountain. It's not easy to catch a glimpse, and patience is the only way to meet the goddess. When it slowly appears veiled in mist, we decide to keep our distance, allowing its hazy beauty to remain undisturbed. Nature, with its patience, partners the clouds and rain with the Shennu Peak perfectly. Journeying through Wushan Mountain, one is reminded of the famous verse that reads, "No water is comparable to the green sea, no cloud to the clouds of Wushan Mountain." Unlike the extraordinary peaks crafted by nature, man-made hills strive to minimize undulation. Cascading from the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau, the Yangtze River gets constricted by the vertical cliffs of Kutang Gorge, forming a grand gateway. This is the most perilous and easily defended pass, Kuimen. Throughout the wars in history, multiple dynasties have used iron chains to block the waterway. Today, Kuimen still bears the marks of wars and battles. The difference now, though, is that iron chains can no longer shackle the passing ships. Since the Three Gorges Dam started to store water, with the rise in water level, inland areas have fostered a new connection with the sea. The shipping containers from the sea on the Yangtze River are the best proof of this. The Three Gorges is no longer the perilous place it once was. Smooth lakes rising in the narrow gorges have rendered the Yangtze River a true golden waterway. Moving on from the gorges and pressing forward, we reach a city of resettlement. A superstar is cultivated, the stem mustard. It's one of the crops that flourish through the winter, and the chilly and foggy valleys are the ideal places for its development. The bustling scene of harvest heralds the timely arrival of spring in Fuling every year. Contrary to the rush of reaping, dehydration adheres to the principle of slowness. The stem mustards are spread out on racks and dehydrated naturally after a half month of air drying, giving rise to Fuling Pickle's signature crunch. Pickles produced in Fuling are transported down the Yangtze River and sent to dinner tables around the world. The gift from the 30th parallel north makes Fuling pickles one of the world's top 3 pickled vegetables, along with pickled gherkins in Europe and sauerkraut in Germany. High diving isn't just presented in the Summer Olympics. In winter, when the Three Gorges Dam stores water, it is the best time to plunge into the waters. Chongqing lies in the inland hinterland of China, with the nearest ocean being thousands of miles away. Yet it has never been a closed city. The forthcoming port is busy dealing with goods across the globe. The Chongqing-Xinjiang-Europe Railway stretches towards Eurasia, making connectivity a key asset for the city's development. The reason 10,000-ton cargo ships can reach Guoyuan port is the reconstitution and transformation of space around the Three Gorges Reservoir region. Meanwhile, millions of migrants have offered an unimaginable opportunity to the development of Western China. In 1997, Chongqing became a direct-administered municipality, expanding its jurisdiction to about 3.5 times its former size. The year 2022 marked the 25th year of Chongqing as a municipality. It boasts the world's largest electronic information industry, as well as the biggest automobile manufacturing industry in China. With the efforts of generations, the city's future is moving ever forward, just like the perpetual flow of the Yangtze River. Next up, we follow the Jialing River to the Wild Hot Spring, ride your beloved motorcycle towards the Hot Pot restaurant in the mountains, feel the unique air conditioning breeze, and witness the convergence of two rivers, sparking a burst of creative inspiration at the end of the Jialing River journey. This is a city floating on the waves of hot springs. In Chongqing, bathing in hot springs has never been an exclusive luxury, but a recreation for the common folk. Unlike commercial hot spring parks, these springs by the Jialing River are often referred to as wild hot springs, with their untamed nature. Their humble appearance doesn't deter popularity. With the prime location to enjoy the river view, they are an irresistible temptation for Chongqing locals who love water. During the flood season, wild hot springs hide beneath the torrents, vanishing without a trace. As the floods recede, the hot springs slowly reveal themselves, and people eagerly flock to the warm embrace of the waters. Where there are hot springs, there are people cherishing them. Even in summer, despite the scorching sun, they seize every chance to mingle with the hot vapors of the springs. This natural warmth is abundant in Chongqing, with 100,000 cubic meters of hot spring water gently flowing beneath their feet each day. Right next to the Jialing River, an exciting gala for motorcyclists awaits our arrival. In an era before cars became popular, the steep slopes of the mountain city kept bicycles at bay. Yet motorcycles rose to the challenge, becoming a crucial presence on the roads. Today, motorcycles are not just vehicles on the roads. They've transformed into mechanical steeds performing cool stunts alongside their riders. Meanwhile, outside the venue of China International Motorcycle Trade Exhibition, civilian motorcycles are performing stunts such as the wheelie and drifting. Bonding over their bikes, this city offers affection and friendliness to motorcycles. And the motorcyclists in return bestow upon the city their passion and protection. In this era of change, some things remain unchanging. Guild halls, for instance, serve as the bonds that gather customs and traditions of different places under one roof. The architecture, with unique Huguang characteristics, integrates seamlessly into the mountain city. These eaves represent the nostalgia of the early Huguang migrants for their hometowns. Their preferences for spicy food were brought here, and the spice tolerance of Chongqing locals become higher and higher. With fiery heat, abundant oil, and lots of MSG, Jianghu cuisine blends flavors from all over the country, reflecting the warm and straightforward character of Chongqing locals. Some say that if you stick a pin on a map of Chongqing randomly, you will find a dozen hot pot restaurants around the place. People's love for hot pot is woven into their daily lives. Ingredients from all over the country are blended in a single pot, and the flames, be it the cold winter or the scorching summer, a round of hot pot always leaves people exclaiming with satisfaction. The hot pots bubble up one by one. Such captivating cuisine with certain cohesiveness facilitates exchanges of feelings amidst the boiling broth. What they enjoy is more than the taste, it's the atmosphere and the bustle. This hot pot restaurant with 999 tables is packed to the brim. People believe that life is all about taking what comes. Chongqing locals challenge the heat only by enjoying the hot pot in summer. Beyond that, their craving for coolness far exceeds our imagination. With card tables and inflatable rafts, people can spend the whole summer drifting the shallow river. They hide beneath the shade of trees, with streams trickling underfoot, carrying away the sweltering heat. This unplugged method of cooling down has garnered the Heishui-Tan River a host of fans. Beyond the riverside, Chongqing Grand Theatre has a clever way to beat the heat. Even if searching in the air, it is hard to find the outdoor AC units of this glass theatre. The natural temperature difference of the Jialing River has been utilized. Public buildings are equipped with water air conditioning in an ecologically friendly energy supply method. The treated river water is engaged in heat exchange with the buildings, helping them stay warm in winter and cool in summer. The Jialing River enters Chongqing meandering for more than 100 kilometers. It's seen by locals as the mother river, known as Yu Water. Yu is also the abbreviation for Chongqing. As the largest tributary of the Yangtze River Basin, when it meets the Yangtze River, the Jialing River doesn't make peace with it right away. Instead, they create a boundary between the clear and muddy waters. Inspired by this, people crossing the river by boat came up with the idea of the Yuanyang hot pot. Since then, spicy and clear soups have united in one pot. The two rivers' handshake doesn't last long. After a few kilometers, the Yangtze River embraces the Jialing River, commencing a new journey together. Continuing our flight, we explore different structures along the Yangtze River. We enter the City of Heroes to pay tribute to the revolutionary martyrs, visit the most spirited bridge, and finally, encounter a horizontal skyscraper high above the ground. History has left many marks in Chongqing, some of which are part of the mountains here. The statues in the grottos are masterpieces from craftsmen across 5 dynasties and represent the pinnacle of the world's grotto art from the 9th to the 13th centuries. Time has scarred these statues, but fortunately, today's conservation efforts have started. Protecting these cultural relics and preserving history are of great significance for today and the future. History is both distant and recent. Over a century ago, Chongqing was opened as a port, becoming the first trading port in inland China. Foreign firms and chambers of commerce soon lined the entire Nanbin Road in no time. A mix of architectures has long integrated into the local life, as well as has been witness to the long history of the city. A path without turns isn't truly a path. The route this city has taken is filled with poignant memories. During the Chinese War of Resistance against Japanese aggression, the Japanese army bombed the city for 6 years. With unimaginable resilience, the people of Chongqing never let their city surrender for a minute. After the war ended, the Chongqing negotiations were held, and the Kuomintang and Communist Party of China signed the Double Tenth Agreement. However, less than a year later, the nationalist government breached the agreement and the civil war broke out. On the day of the founding of the People's Republic of China, Chongqing was still about 2 months away from its liberation. During this period, a group of communists were brutally killed in the concentration camp in order to safeguard the victory of the People's War. They were supposed to see the liberation and the 5-star red flag fluttering. Clouds form and fade away in Chongqing's sky, but these memories are far from fading away like clouds. This monument holds many names to be cherished and contains a wealth of emotions. Although the modern buildings surrounding it are taller and more innovative in design, people still reserve enough space for this great monument, allowing people to contemplate it in quiet reverence, so that the spirit of heroes transcends time and space and displays a new vitality. Today, people live here or travel here. Beside Chengximen Bridge, a colossal neighbor stretches across the sky. The length of 300 meters makes it the world's longest horizontal skyscraper. Spanning 4 rooftops, it serves as a giant seismic bracing that secures the safety of the super talls. If the Yuzhong Peninsula is the ship, then the tall towers are the sails strung together. Chongqing people name this complex setting said for the sky. Soaring among the clouds, the skyscraper is exceptionally selective about sunlight. Its rooftop is composed of 2 different materials. Glass the east invites in every strand of the morning light, and aluminum sheet facing west shields against the strong afternoon sun. Its transparent facade requires the tender care of workers. While the city rests in quietude at an altitude of 270 meters, they are polishing the glass for people inside the building. Beneath the shadow of immense sails marks the 0 point of highways, Chongqing. An ancient gate bears the weight of modern architecture. The city of Chongqing, which owes its rise to water, began its growth from Tianmen Dock. With every ship that docks, a convergence occurs, further fostering the inclusiveness that the city was born with. Mountains form the city's framework, while water becomes its lifeblood. Openness brings it vitality, and inclusiveness brings prosperity. China's youngest municipality has already set sail. Someday, with the sail piercing the clouds, we will mount the wind, break the waves, and traverse the vast rolling sea.